Sit up comfortably, not stiff, simply upright. Your spine long, your shoulders loose, your hands resting quietly on your thighs. Close your eyes and take one deep breath in and slowly out. Once more, breathing in and breathing out. Feel for a moment how you are sitting. The chair or the floor beneath you, the weight of your body held and supported, the small sounds of the room around you. You are here. You are taking a pause. Not because you have to, but because you are giving this to yourself. And in this pause, something particular happens. You stop doing, and you begin to see. Imagine you are on your way somewhere, not in a hurry, just walking the way you sometimes do when you move from one place to another. Your thoughts already on the next thing, your eyes on the path ahead, your head full of what has been and what is still to come. You know this route well. You have walked it 100 times. And today, from an impulse you couldn't quite explain, you stop, just like that. In the middle of the path, at the edge of a forest you have always known only as a backdrop. You pause. You set no task. You have no goal for this moment. You simply stand, and you look. The forest is deep green and still. The trees stand close together, their trunks brown and grey, the light falling in long shifting patterns across the ground. You have passed this way many times before, but today, you see it differently. Perhaps because you are not walking on. Perhaps because this is the first time you have truly stood still. You step to the side, off the path, into the long grass, and then one step more, between the first trees, into the shade which is cool and soft, like stepping into another room. You lean against a tree, press your back against its trunk, feel the bark behind you, rough, warm, solid, and you wait. Not for anything in particular, simply you wait. You are quiet, you are still, and you look. At first, nothing happens. That is the first thing you notice. How unfamiliar stillness is. How your mind keeps running at first. The list, the thought, the conversation from this morning that never quite finished. All of it still turning, like an engine after the key has been removed, still spinning on its own momentum. You observe this, without interfering, and after a while, slowly, gradually, it grows quieter. The mind turns more gently, the thoughts spread further apart, and in the spaces between them, something appears that feels like room. And in that room, you see, at the edge of a small clearing, no more than 20 steps away, a fox is sitting. Small and rust red, its tail full and brushy, its ears pricked upright. It sits completely still, and it is looking at you. Not with fear, not with aggression, simply with attention. You would never have seen it if you had kept walking. You look at it, and it looks at you. And between you, there is a moment that seems to exist outside of time. Then it turns its head, sniffs the air once, and disappears without a sound into the ferns. And you notice something. This fox was always here. Not just today, yesterday too, and last week, and all the other times you walked this path. It was here, and you never saw it. Not because it was hiding, but because you were never looking. How much else might there be that was always here, that you never saw because you never stopped? You stay. The minutes pass, and the forest lives around you. Sounds you hadn't noticed before become audible. The distant drumming of a woodpecker, the rustle of leaves moved by no wind, only a small creature beneath them. And then, Between the trees, along a narrow animal trail, a deer steps into view. A stag, large and unhurried, his antlers branching wide and calm. He moves slowly, testing each step, his nostrils wide open. He senses you. You see how he pauses, raises his head, looks in your direction. But he does not flee. He stands. He looks. There is something in that gaze that reaches you. This stag lives in a world full of possible dangers. He knows this. And yet, he walks, slowly, with dignity, without rushing. Not because he is unaware of the dangers, but because he has learned to live alongside them, to be watchful without being consumed by watchfulness. And then he is gone, as quietly as he came. The sun has shifted. Above you, on the branch of an old oak, an owl is sitting. In daytime, owls usually sleep. And yet here it sits, eyes half closed, but not asleep, resting, waiting, knowing. The owl sees in darkness what others cannot see, not because it has more eyes, but because it has learned to sit in stillness and wait until what is hidden becomes visible. You look at it, and a thought arrives quietly. Perhaps this is possible for you too, to sit in the stillness, to wait, and to let what is hidden show itself, without chasing it, without forcing it, simply to be here and to look. You say goodbye to the forest, not with words, with one last breath, one moment of quiet gratitude for what you have seen. The animals that were always here, the stillness that was always here, the capacity to see, which was always inside you, waiting only for you to stop. You step back onto the path, but you walk differently now, not more slowly, but more consciously, with a small part of your attention still in the forest, still with the stillness, still with the fox and the stag and the owl. You arrive home, you sit down, perhaps at a table, perhaps on a chair by the window, perhaps simply on the floor. Somewhere you have a moment to yourself, and you decide, I will pause. Like in the forest, I will lean back, I will look. You close your eyes and you wait. At first, again, the mind keeps running. That is normal. That is its job. That is what it always does. You don't need to stop it. You don't need to calm it. You simply watch it, the way you watched the fox, with interest, with distance, without interfering. And after a while, when you are truly quiet, when you are truly still, you begin to notice something. Feelings arrive. Not because you called them, not because you went looking for them. They come on their own. Because you are still, because you are listening, because you are, perhaps for the first time today, truly here. Imagine your inner world is a still, quiet house. The walls are calm, the room is warm. A fire burns, small and steady, somewhere at the center. And then, a knock at the door, soft at first, tentative. You walk to the door, unhurried, unafraid, with the stillness of the owl, with the quiet dignity of the stag. You open it, and there stands a feeling. Perhaps you recognize it immediately. Perhaps it is familiar. An old acquaintance you don't particularly like, who keeps showing up anyway. Or perhaps it is something new, something you can't quite name yet. You look at it, not with resistance, not with a forced welcome, simply with attention. You ask inwardly, quietly, who are you? Perhaps it is fear. It stands in your doorway, and perhaps it is smaller than you thought. Smaller now that you are truly looking at it than it seemed when you only caught it from the corner of your eye. You invite it in. It sits down, and you sit across from it, and you ask, again calmly, without accusation, What are you trying to tell me? And when you truly listen, when you are truly still, an answer comes. Not always in words, sometimes as an image, sometimes as a sensation, sometimes simply as an understanding that settles in, like light when the clouds part. Fear says, I want to protect you. It has always been here because it saw something that mattered, a risk, a possibility of loss, something you care about. For fear only makes the effort to visit when something is at stake that truly matters to you. You look at it, this fear, and you say, inwardly, quietly, I see you. I understand why you are here. Thank you for paying attention, and you notice, you are not the fear. You are the one who receives the fear. You are the house, not the guest. The fear relaxes a little. It knows now that it has been heard. That is all it wanted, to be heard. And then, after a while in its own time, it stands, nods to you, and leaves. You walk it to the door, and you watch it go. Another knock. Perhaps this time it is worry. It comes in and sits down, a little more restless than the fear. Worry likes to talk. It has many scenarios, many possibilities, many what-ifs. You let it speak. For a while, you listen. And then, quietly, like the owl on its branch, you ask, what is it that you truly care about? Worry pauses. Beneath all the scenarios, beneath all the possibilities, there is something simple, something real. Perhaps a love, perhaps a responsibility, something that matters to you. Worry comes because you care. Those who care about nothing are never visited by worry. You look at it and say, I understand you. You remind me of what is important to me. That is something of value. And it too, after a while, stands up and leaves. Perhaps other guests arrive. Sadness, exhaustion, impatience, perhaps even joy. Yes, joy too sometimes knocks and waits to be truly seen rather than quickly consumed and forgotten. Receive them all with the same quiet attention. Look at them. Ask them who they are and what they want to tell you. Listen, and let them leave again when they are ready. You don't need to hold on to any feeling. You don't need to push any feeling away. You are the house, warm, still, stable. The guests come and go. You remain. This is the most important thing you can take with you today. You are not your feelings. You have feelings. You are the space in which they appear, the stillness in which they are allowed to speak. The calm observer who, like the fox, the stag, the owl, was always already here, who was only waiting for you to stop, to pause, to look. Bring your attention gently back now. Feel your body in the chair, your hands, your feet, the air in the room. Take one deep breath in and slowly out. Give yourself one more moment before you stand up and continue. And know this, the next pause you give yourself will show you something. The guests will return. And with each meeting, you will understand them a little better. Be a little less startled by them. Be a little more able to receive them. This is not a technique. It is a way of being, the way of the still house, open, warm, unshakable. When you are ready, gently open your eyes. Welcome back.